Hello everyone and welcome to Esportz Premier Series 2023 Assetto Corsa Competizione Qualifiers Week 2, brought to you by Esports.in and a smart lock screen partner Glance. I am Simply Whitey and I'm joined by Swagger Turbo, a completely new face for this week, at least in terms of the commentary team. And we apologize for the delays. We had a few technical issues, but fear not, we do have a very good set of races coming up at Monza and Spa. Of course, Monza will be the main track, so qualifying Superpole and race 1 will be at Monza, whereas race 2 will be the only one at Spa. But both very, very iconic tracks, aren't they, Swagger?
Indeed, one is literally called the Temple of Speed, so gonna have a lot of overtakes hopefully over there, and yeah, really excited to see how these drivers fare on these two tracks because both of the tracks are pretty, high speed circuits. So yeah, they need to have a good setup, and let's see who comes out in front.
Absolutely. We have seen some really good performances and some really good shows put up, especially yesterday. I mean, that Barcelona race for from the beginning all the way, I'd say for about 20 or so minutes was something else. I mean, again, we had no words yesterday. Couple and I had no words yesterday to describe it. We don't have words to describe it today either. I mean, it's just too much to digest. So hopefully you have watched that race. If you haven't, then after this today's event is done, you can of course just go back and watch that one. And trust me, there is not something you can miss out on. We're back with a Group One, guys, where majority of the drivers have already qualified, but of course a lot of them still haven't. A lot of them are still up there to qualify for the semis, and a lot of them still have the opportunity to qualify for the on the line.
Ooh,
And we are instantly on board, or rather watching our favorite beamer of Samad Habib in a very copper colored livery. And yeah, quite a solid field today here, isn't there?
Indeed, and as you're talking about the drivers as well, are completely different choices of cars, I should say, because we have a few Mercs, few McLarens as well. And yeah, we have a few BMWs, Audi, one Audi, a single Audi. So yeah, overall does look pretty decent, and we just have to see what these guys can put up with, because again, the different cars are, they work differently, and yeah, sometimes we get like fast pace and sometimes we don't.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a very, very big mixture of cars. Two Mercedes, three Mercedes, two McLarens, two Beamers. So these are still cars that people generally choose to begin with, but all of them, of course, have their own strengths and weaknesses. Something like the Mercedes has amazing top end, whereas the BMW is just quite good with the curves and quite good with the corners. And the McLaren, of course, is amazing on the tires, but does struggle sometimes with a bit of understeer. And so, these are a few issues these guys have to deal with. Some real life drivers, such as Lando Norris and stuff, do like actually understeering cars because that actually helps you keep your car maintained, at least the rear of the car maintained. And of course, as long as you don't over throttle, it won't go spinning. So I guess perhaps that is why someone like Sarthak Ray, Parth Patel, those guys have chosen the McLaren, because it still loves to do something along the lines of that, and just kind of understeer on the exit. But because of reasons like that, it is an extremely planted car, and when you do push it around, it can get a little bit loose. But otherwise, an amazing car to drive, and especially very, very big and friendly. That car.
That is 100% true. And yeah, I think while talking about different cars as well, not a single Lamborghini on the track. So that's a first for me, because whenever I've seen people race, they're always, at least one person picks up the Lambo. But yeah, no showing for the Lambo right now. And Samatabi setting a 149.7 as the benchmark that all the drivers have to try and beat. And it's already beat by Couple Ace, who sets a 148.1. And Axel slots that BMW in P2 a second of Kapil. So yeah, a pretty spread out grid right now, because again, we still are in the early stages of the qualifying, but a lot of the cars not really using the slipstream, because this track has two very long straights, or should I say actually three very long straights, and extremely hard braking zones as well. So you have to make sure that you hit the braking marks right, and get a very good exit out of, let's say, turn 1 and 2 and even 3 and 4.
Yeah, I mean, majority of the circuit does pretty much come down to that. And on board with Dipanshu, don't worry, he's not taking part today. This is simply a show car that is running around the track with sporting a very beautiful Esports livery. So he's not taking part in the race. Once again, just a show car. But yeah, the circuit is quite amazing in the sense that it's pretty basic in the first thing that they thought as a driver, and that is slow and fast out. Turn one, you come quite slow in, and that is of course because you have a massive straight behind it, but also because carrying too much speed through a tight corner like turns 1 and 2 is just unideal, because you have travel on the exit there. So carrying too much speed, let's just say even if you make the apexes for turn 1 and 2, there's a high chance you could run off wide on the exit of turn 2 there. So a lot of corners like that which are pretty much brake, turn, accelerate, and though it might seem simple, not all of them are as same as just saying brake, turn, accelerate, because turn 1 you can see is quite narrow. It does go straight for maybe just half a second before you have to turn again for turn 2. And as we're watching Axel Sam, you'd see in just a few seconds here that as he comes into turns 3 and 4, they are the same brake, turn, accelerate type corners, but since they are wider and have a lot more space between them. Okay, Axel Sam didn't take those corners well, but since they are wider corners and since they can take, two cars through there, you can easily carry a lot more speed. And of course, the inside of turn 3 is quite bumpy, and of course, you do have the sausage curb on there, which you also have to avoid. So things like that is what differentiates all of the corners. And of course, let's not forget the Lesmos as well as the Ascari chicane, which Kapil is going through right now. They're all very unique corners, and that is what makes this track really beautiful.
Yeah, and while you're talking about the turn 1, we have seen that most of the races across different categories like GT cars, F1, F2, there's always carnage, and it's a very tricky turn 1 and 2, especially in the lap 1. So it's going to be tough for these guys to try and maneuver over there, because as you were saying, it's a very narrow track down there. So these guys will have to make sure that they leave each other just enough space and make it through. And right now, Kapil as well as Baldy are looking real good for that turn 1, because they're gonna put the car on P1 to at least provisionally as of now, and they'll just have a clear circuit in front. They don't have to care about the cars coming from behind, and actually there are no cars in front at least, and they can just take their own braking points and hope like hell they don't get tagged from the back.
Yeah, I mean that's one bit of a key thing in qualifying, is that you need to have good track position. Yes, you're at Monza. Yes, you need all the slipstream you can get, but still having free air is still better than some car who's not significantly faster than you, significantly slower than you, and then you just kind of run into them, and then that of course turns into a big issue. Couple making a big issue out of the Lesmos by making a huge mistake there, and you can just see Samad Habib in the back just taking a bit of slipstream off of Couple. Although I don't think Couple will be too worried about him, since he is almost 1.5 seconds away from him, at least on the timing sheet so far. But Samad will absolutely take it, because yes, he might be losing time in the corners, but he's still within that slipstream range, so he is getting a bit of slipstream on the straights, and okay, Kapil's letting him by. But yeah, throughout the qualifying, throughout the Samad's current lap, he's gotten great amounts of slipstream through the corners and through the straights mainly. So I think he'll absolutely take it. And a couple inversing the positions to bring the advantage back into his hands. But currently not required as he is almost 9 tenths ahead of Sarthak right now.
Yeah, that's true. It's like he's 8 tenths in front. He's just trying to get a faster lap so that no one can take that pole position off of him. So yeah, just mainly trying to make sure and solidify that P1, I would say. But he is super close to Samad right now, who is 1.4 seconds behind on, let's say the pole position lap right now. So yeah, he would definitely catch up to him, and Samad doesn't really have to leave the position or give him space because he is also on a hot lap. So this could get a bit tricky for Kapil, and as you can see, getting super close to Samad in the braking zone right there. The Merc is actually doing pretty well, and of course I should say Kapil is doing pretty well to try and catch up, but this is just hindering his own lap because Samad is in front of him. And yeah, there we go. Kapil just lets go of the throttle, slows down a bit, and probably is going to just make sure that the next lap he has enough space in front and doesn't get his lap deleted, or let's say the lap blocked.
Yeah, I mean, it really wasn't a good move from Kapil, knowing that Samad is clearly a much slower driver, at least at this stage of the qualifying. There's no point in tailing him, and even if you have to, he should have really done it by a larger margin, to be fair, rather than sticking really close because he already caught up to Samad by the end of sector one. So it wasn't good. And now of course he just has to waste time, waste a bit of fuel, waste the tires before he can go for another lap again. So in general it was a lose-lose situation for Kapil, and that's of course what's ended up happening. Axel Sam has moved up into P2, 6.5 tenths behind Kapil, so clearly lap times are improving. Pressure's building up on Kapil to improve as well at this current stage, but yeah, clearly he is struggling without a slipstream, I guess. So I guess he knows that whatever he's done through the corners might be the best, and the only place he can improve is on the straights, because of course you do gain a heap of time through the straights if you get a very nice slipstream. But currently no one's on his pace or faster than him, so there is absolutely no slipstreaming for him. Rather, he might end up being a slipstream for other guys. So I think his best chance would be to simply just improve on the corners and just hope he gets a good exit out of them, because otherwise I don't see him improving.
Sarthak does improve and get the car to under 2 tenths of a second to Kapil, but that's still not enough to take pole position. A lot of different cars and a lot of lovely liveries as well. And of course, talking about Monza, it's for the Tifosi, and I only see one single Ferrari out there who's in P7. So would love to see a Ferrari doing well in the Temple of Speed in Monza. But yeah, overall, and we are spectating Axel Sam as well. Most of them have kind of set their benchmarks in, and maybe they'll come out towards the end of the session. Of course, only 6 minutes left now, but yeah, maybe towards the end they just come onto the track and put in some faster laps in, because right now the gap is pretty close between Kapil and Sarthak, and it has come down. So Kapil will have to improve, or if anyone behind him improves, that P1 is in danger.
Yeah, but looking at the current rate of improvement, the couple is definitely in danger. Only 2 tenths, around 2 tenths separating him and Sarthak, with Axel Sam looking to improve as well. Only he missed his best lap time by only a tenth. So clearly these guys are improving lap after lap, whereas Kapil is still sitting in the pits. Not sure what he's waiting for, but at this point, I think it's fine if he does go out around the 4 minute mark. He will have time to set maybe a lap or two, and I guess those will be the final laps. So it's all about the waiting game at this point for Kapil, because Sarthak is very quick, but we have seen in the previous days as well where he was improving by quite a bit, and then he ended up invalidating his lap, or he ended up making a crucial mistake at some point in the lap, and of course he could not improve. So we'll have to see how that turns out for him. Axel Sam coming across the line does improve, 3.5 tenths away from Kapil. So Kapil, well, he's starting to get paranoid, isn't he?
I mean, sure, it is pretty nerve-wracking to see that you have pull, but there are drivers out there getting in laps and getting just closer and closer every lap. So yeah, Axel Sam tweets off. He instantly just put the lap in, came back to pitch. Maybe he's running low fuel mode and he's trying to do some low fuel runs as well. And yeah, looking at the Pancho yet again, the esports delivery car is just out there putting in some laps for sure, and yeah, enjoying life, I guess. But overall, the top three are very, very solid, and we can see that the next, like the fourth to sixth, are also pretty close in terms of time. So it's only around 4 tenths that separates them. So we're probably going to see a race where the top three and then the next three are going to have pretty close battles, and maybe we can even see Pratap and Parth, just putting better laps in, and maybe a few drivers who are better in the race, more consistent in the race. So let's see if they can put something, and we can see a better result from them in the race.
Absolutely. While we do talk about the top five and a group of cars, Samadhi currently sitting in P6 in this whole qualifiers week 2. Never once has he stepped into the top 5 and gotten into the Superpole. So, uh, yeah, we'll have to see if he breaks that streak, because it's not a good streak to have. Because in week 1, he was there in the Superpole consistently, setting in good lap times. Whereas now he's just struggling. Like sometimes he just misses out by a bit. Other times, he's just not made it in at all, because he just decided to sit in the pits and do nothing. So, in my opinion, Samad should be out there right now, looking to improve on his lap times. I mean, he's the only car in the pits, so he has the potential of doing a lot more than just 3.5 tenths, close to 4 tenths, and getting barely into the Super Bowl. He can do a lot more than that. But currently, sitting in the pits is not helping his situation. And if he misses out on another, top 5, a Super Bowl here, then it's not going to be a good look, because his races haven't gone too well. I mean, yes, some of them have been due to incidents, but other times he's just lacked general pace to even keep up in the race. So he has to really start making inroads and be out there at the latest with 2 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, we're still on board the Audi, the show car, and yeah, overall, I guess these guys are just trying to get into Super Bowl, and of course, Super Bowl being a very, very important part of this quali as well, because once you get to the Super Bowl, you get you only have a limited amount of chances to try and get P1 for the race, and yeah, right now, again, just want to say congrats to these guys for getting such beautiful liveries as well, because look at the McLaren. It's just, the red and the black just mixing it so well, and it just makes the car pop out even more. And he is really, really close to the Mercedes in front, I think, which is of Axel Sam. But yeah, getting a beautiful streak out of Scary, going in Parabolica now, and yeah, he has got a pretty decent split race. So this could mean that Sarkman can improve towards the end of his qualifying. But yeah, Kapil also is on out lap, or maybe on a lap at this point, and Sarthak does improve, and that's only a 100th of a second behind Kapil is.
Yeah, but Madhav, already being in the Mercedes, has a lot of top end. I'm not sure why he's wanting to sit behind Sarthak Ray and slipstream off of him. That's obviously going to lose Madhav time. I mean, it's a consistent pattern we have seen with Madhav and Samad, usually with each other, just trying to slipstream off of another car regardless of the track. And it, of course, doesn't work out in their favor. because the other car, of course, by legality, doesn't have to back out if they also continue on to another hot lap. So, yeah, they're just kind of screwing themselves over as we watch on board with Couple Ace in the white Mercedes coming through sector 2, almost about to finish the second sector here and looking to improve by quite a lot, as you mentioned. As you mentioned, Swagger, only 100 separating Couple and Sarthak, so quite a bit that he has to do in this lap because Sarthak's on for another. He's going to be looking to improve for another, so check it flags out, and yeah, we'll have to see what Couple can do, how much he improves by. I mean, he is revving out that Mercedes engine right there to try and get as much top end as he can, gaining every little thousandth that he can, getting very close to the sausage curve there, but not close enough for it to be a concern. Across the line then, improves, but by not much, only a tenth separating Sarthak and Couple. Sarthak is just coming across the line as well. Where will Sarthak Ray end up? Will he take pole position away? Yes! Us half a tenth there, so margins are very very close, and that is it for the qualifying. Samad Habib once again getting knocked out, not going into the Super Bowl. A very good qualifying session and a very good Super Bowl coming up just after this short break.
The shadow rises, I walk through the valley, but I won't let nothing take my heart away. I recognize the powers as they ready. Closing names, I break them one by one and dance to face. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to lay down. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to give up. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for a night. I hold on to every comment, won't surrender, not tonight. Won't surrender, not tonight. Won't surrender, not tonight. Darling, I've been tempted by the darkness, telling me that I should throw it all away. Fight so hard, my heart is hardly helpless.
And we're back after a very short break there, and we have Super Bowl coming up. Very very interesting stuff, because if things continue as they are right now, then maybe Sarthak will pip away yet another pole from Kapil, or maybe not. A lot on the line for these guys, and yeah, we'll have to wait and see what of course Kapil can do, because a lot of pressure on him. He improved in qualifying, but it wasn't much. I mean, he improved by 400ths, and then instantly Sarthak came in and beat that by around a tenth. So a lot more than a tenth will be required to get pole here.
Indeed, it was very, very close margins towards the end of the lap. As I was saying, it's like when you are on pole, till the time every single car behind you hasn't finished a lap, you are always nervous, because anyone can take that, P1 or pole position off of you in the last second, and that's exactly what happened, where Sarthak was able to get that position off of Kapil, and in what fashion? Literally towards the end, buzzer beater. What a query that was.
Yeah, that was quite a good quali lap. Of course, they won't be able to get close to the quali lap times, at least in Superpole, because they'll only have one opportunity. First car out, Madhav Sajid, and yeah, they will be doing the usual for their lap times, just heating up the tires through the brakes, not weaving, because the first 3 laps GT3 cars have ultimate amounts of grip, and suddenly after 3 laps they just completely drop off. So you don't really want to be weaving. Instead, you want to be using the brakes. I mean, yes, they still have to do an outer lap, and yeah, of course, they still have to continue with their tire warm up and all that stuff. But you need to have as much tire grip available to you as possible for your hot lap, because an ideal amount in not being there, yes, it won't really affect much, but considering that you really need those margins to secure your position or even get pole, it is definitely required that you have everything in the optimum window, all the way from fuel to tire wear to tire temps and brake temps.
And of course, it becomes somewhat like a short quali. So, I say one short quali. And yeah, these guys have to make sure that every single thing is, just perfect for the main lap, because as you were talking about, keeping the balance. So, you need to make sure you don't really wear out the tires, but they are still in that, proper condition. But I would say proper range of temperature, that they work in a proper optimal condition. So, yeah, Sajid is about to start his lap right here. Do you want to just take us through that?
Absolutely, Madhu Sajid in the Mercedes starting his Superpole lap. Coming across the line now, timer has started ticking for him. And we just wait as he crosses this very long straight going into turn 1. Braking is just at 150, or actually at 100, between 150 and 100, so around 125, and just getting a very good exit out of turns 1 and 2. Crucial, because this straight, not really a straight, but it is completely full throttle, so it is quite essential that you do get a good exit out of turn 1 and 2 as you approach turns 3 and 4. Braking at the orange curving on the right hand side, apologies, the orange marshaller post on the right hand side there. Good exit out of those. Now Lesmo 1 immediately on power. You can wash off wide. Track limits are quite easy to deal with there. Lesmo 2 then take the curb on the inside, take the curb on the outside. Bit of oversteer, but nothing that will cost him too much lap time. And now once again a bit of a straight before he will go into the infamous Ascari chicane. And for the Ascari, you brake right under the board as he does. Great lines, not using the curb on the inside, but that's fine. Running off wide once again, correcting a little bit, so doesn't seem like he's hooked up the best of laps, but I do think it is an easy top 4 for him if he does not mess up the upcoming Parabolica. Coming to the inside, on throttle, washing off to the outside, or not, he's decided to stay close to the track. Okay, that is a bit of a weird line. Maybe compromising some lap time. Comes across the line, 49.3.
Not bad at all. 149.3 is a pretty decent lap. We did see that in the main qualifying as well, that it was, these guys were doing somewhat similar times. So yeah, a pretty decent anchor right there. Or should I say, a decent lap time by Madhav right there. And in the Superpole as well, we have 3 Mercs out there. So yeah, I guess this track does, people prefer the Merc on this track. So yeah, we have Baldy now in the other Merc and getting ready to get on the lap. So getting out of Parabolica, a pretty decent line, the basic standard line. Over here is where you go full flat out. It sure that you are lined properly for turn one. And yeah, you have to make sure that you find that exact braking point, brake there, and turn into turn one. And that looks pretty clean for Wally right there, getting to the throttle as well pretty gently there. And yeah, just you have to make sure that you keep the pace, keep rolling, and don't really mess up on the exit, because you can lose a lot of time there, because of course this whole straight is it just completely focus on the exit out of turn one and two. So yeah, going into the first, Lesmo now hasn't really made any mistakes yet, so pretty comfortable lap by Voldy right there, and yeah, keeping it well within the track limits as well. Going through Lesmo 2 now, and yeah, we did see his Mercedes teammate, should I say? But yeah, Madhav did have a slight snap coming out of Lesmo 2, whereas Voldy was way more planted, and yeah, a pretty decent lap till now. Going on to the Ascari chicane now, taking it. Oh, we have an onboard, and that's a huge snap, which will lose him a lot of time. And yeah, that's kind of ruined his lap. And again, this is Super Bowl. You only get one chance, and you have to make it count. And that's a slight mistake. I think he went on to the sausage curbs on the left, and that will definitely cost him time. Going into Parabolica now, let's see if he can just get back a little bit of time and be even close to Madhav, because that was a very, very costly mistake by him in Skani. Coming on to the final, start finish straight, and it's a 1.8 second off of Madhav.
Yeah, I mean, mistakes were not freed in that lap. They were there pretty much everywhere, and especially through the Ascari. That was a very, very big lap time ruiner. And it is still better to have a lap time, because if someone does invalidate, at least you won't be behind them, you'd still be ahead of them. So that is absolutely one good thing. That at least he finished the lap. Some drivers would, after making such a big mistake, give up, but great stuff by Baldy on not giving up. And the worst that will happen is he'd start P5, which is still a very, very good position. So, not the end of the world for him. Axel Sam in the BMW GT3 starting his lap time. Super Bowl going up into 6th. And coming down a very, very long straight, braking at 125 down to second gear. First gear, okay, clearly cooked the braking up a bit, so that will be a little bit affecting the lap time. It shouldn't be too much, but you could clearly see that he did brake later by about 10 or so meters too much. But regardless, coming through now into turns 3 and 4, yet another set of chicanes. But even trickier this time, avoiding the sausage curb at the inside, but still taking the curb. Absolutely amazing. Doesn't even look like he took it, but that's because the Beamer can absolutely eat the curbs. So, very good lap times from him there. He's struggling a little bit on the brakes, but still seems to be going just fine through the Lesmos. A great Lesmo 2 for Axel there, carrying a lot of speed on the exit of Lesmo 2. Now once again down on a very long straight before he'll have to tackle with Ascari, so he can cool down just a little bit, but not too much. Coming into Ascari, braking at 100 meters, taking the curb on the inside on all 3 bits of the Ascari. Great line from there, and a very, very good exit, carrying a lot of minimum apex speed. And now all he has to do is tackle the Parabolica, and he should be setting quite a good lap time, maybe somewhere challenging Madhav Sajid, or maybe even ahead of Madhav Sajid. Still staying on the center, so a lot of these guys choosing to take that inside center outside line before going back on the inside again to minimize track distance. Comes across the line, almost second ahead of Madhav Sajid, 148.4. Great lap.
That was a very, very good lap by Axel indeed. So we have seen, we have a BMW in front of both the Mercedes, but can the final work of couple put this Mercedes in front of the BMW. What do you think about that simply? Will Kapil be able to, make it a Mercedes sandwich for Axel, or does Axel have this in the bag as of now?
I think Couple definitely has it in the bag, at least in comparison to Axel. In comparison to Sarthakre, I'm not sure. But Swagger, why don't you take us through this lap?
Right, so getting on to the main straight now, and yeah, we did see that Kapil was predominantly leading the quali, just till the end. But yeah, this is a very, very important lap for Kapil, getting the braking point pretty decently there. Going on to the first gear, and actually a very clean turn one. He did have a little bit of a wheel spin right there, but again, a very, very clean turn one and two right there. This is a very important part, as I was saying. You need to get the exit right to get a decent advantage going into turn. Actually, not turn 3 and 4. But yeah, I was saying going into sector 2, it's really important to take the turn properly and a little bit of, I think, the gravel right there, the tires over there. But yeah, there's more one taking it pretty well. Keeps the car in bounds as well. No tractor coalitions going on right there. And even the less but very, very fun. So till now, the lap has been pretty smooth from Kapil, and he has been, he looks very under control, and this could be a very good lap for him, and maybe even, take one off of Axel. So yeah, going through Ascari, it's light for the sun, but I think that should be fine. And yeah, very decent exit as well. Now all he has to do is find his braking point for Parabolica, make sure he gets the braking right, and then it's just a straight and a pedal to the metal till the start of the straight, and that does look pretty speed on throttle as well. Yeah, that's actually a very decent line. This is a different line that you've seen compared to the other drivers, and that puts him in P1 by a 0.0148 seconds. So yeah, a tenth over Axel. You have Sarthak, who's a pole from him in qualifying. What a lap that is by Kapil.
A good lap, but I don't think it is the lap that Couple needed to get that pole, to be honest. I think Couple will have to settle for a P2. I think Sarthak in the McLaren can definitely take that lap time quite comfortably away from Couple, as we'll have to wait and watch what happens as he starts his lap in the very red McLaren of Optimum Motorsport. Interesting, before he had an OnlyFans living, now he's decided to change it all. Going into turn 1, braking at 150 once again. Not too late like Sam did, just about. A very good braking, very good apexes, and a very good exit out of turn 1 and 2. Little bit of oversteer he had to correct there, but should be fine. And you can see he is changing something on his wheels. So I think it could be the brake bias, because he's not moved his hand off the wheel to change anything. As he comes into turns 3 and 4, down to second. Once again taking the curves there, but missing the sausage curve, because that could be detrimental to your lap time. Could also damage his car, because his car is one of the lowest cars in GT3 class. And coming through to Les Moto, once again making a change on his wheel, and clearly whatever changes he is making seem to be working quite well for him, as he seems to be tackling the corners just perfectly. And now once again on the very long straight, before you get into Ascari, braking at 100, third gear, carrying a lot more speed than Kapil was over here, upshifting into fourth before even exiting the Ascari chicane. Great stuff, and once again changing things on his wheel even more. So he's constantly changing his brake bias to what he thinks could be suitable for the corner coming up, and that I wouldn't say is a sign of a great driver, but rather a great lap time coming up. He's even changing things mid-corner, so this guy is really onto something as he comes across the line now and beats Kapil's lap time by half a second. So my prediction wasn't really wrong in saying that half a second, I apologies, a tenth to Axel Sam will not be enough for couple to take that pole, as Sarthak Ray casually beats it by half a second. And if things are to come like this, maybe we can see another bit of Sarthak domination.
Indeed, and we did see that couple had a few mistakes here and there, but it wasn't really major. So 5 tenths, I think it's going to be a very very close battle going into turn one as well for both the drivers, because yeah, the front grid, you don't really have to care about where the car in front of you is going to brake. So yeah, you're going to have the reins on when you want to brake and how you want to take the turn one.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, actually, the question remains if the same battle will continue on beyond turn one, beyond lap one, considering half a second is not a weak amount of time. It's nothing small. It's something that will be quite hard for couple to catch over, and especially in the long run, in the race distance, it can be quite a bit if you're losing half a second every lap. But I think that we'll find out in the race itself. That will be coming up 30 minutes of Monza just after this short break.
Found myself so desperate on my knees to break. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to let go. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to live. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for. Like I hold on to every garment, won't surrender, not tonight. The shadow rises, I walk through the valley, but I won't let nothing take my heart away. I recognize the powers as they rally. Golden names, I break them one by one and dance to fate. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to let go. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to live. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for. Like I hold on to every garment, won't surrender, not tonight. Won't surrender, not tonight. Won't surrender, not tonight. Darling, I've been tempted by the darkness.
And of course, Swagger's lost his glasses as well while he's at it. But yeah, 30 minutes of Monza coming up, and a very, very interesting race ahead of us. Nice selection of cars, a lot of straight line by the Mercedes. So perhaps in the race they can challenge. I mean, talking about the Mercedes and straight lines, we did see in qualifying one, no, where Madhav was following, I think it was Samath or was it Kapil? I'm not sure who he was following. Yeah, he was following Sarthak. And that is where I don't know why he was deciding to follow Sarthak, but you could clearly see that the Mercedes, which already has one of the best straight lines in GT3 cars, got a lot more straight line as well. So clearly 280, 285 kph is definitely on the cards if the Mercedes guys can get a good slipstream. And of course, Setup's not going to be an issue. The low down first for sure, but all the slipstream that they can get, they'll of course want to get.
That's true, and yeah, level of speed. You need to have speed, but at the same time, you need to know when to brake and yeah, just slow your car down. Because if you make a small mistake coming out of, let's say one of the chicanes, you're pretty much just vulnerable to the car behind you. And if there's a car in front of you, you're just going to lose more and more time on the straight. So you have to make sure that your braking is right and your exit out of both the chicanes are, just picture perfect. Because if not, people are definitely going to be overtaking you left, right, and center.
Yeah, it's very easy to get overtaken at Monza, because one thing is, if you don't have a car ahead of you, you don't have the slipstream, you can still sort of elongate the overtake process by, of course, getting a good parabolic up. But of course, what happens with a lot of drivers in that situation is when they see, okay, well, this car is very very close to me, pretty much right behind me, bumper to bumper. They do end up making a mistake. They might cook the brakes. They might brake a little too early. They might go on throttle too early or a throttle too late. So things like that happen, and of course, they do end up messing up a little bit, which is, of course, not an ideal situation for those guys, uh, in the slightest, to be fair. But yeah, sometimes it just has to be that way, and. Yeah, well, it's this track. Although it's a lot about top end, it's also a lot about getting a good exit out of the corners to get even more of that top end. Because cars like the McLaren, they don't have top end. So whatever Sarthak's doing is thanks to him getting good corners. So that is one place where couple can capitalize, and that is on the straight.
Indeed, the race is about to get started, and all of them are lined up, coming out from Parabolica, going to the main straight. Or simply, want to just take us through the starting procedures here?
Sure. As we watch onwards, all of the drivers will soon stop braking and moving forward like frogs. And as they have started doing so, green flags. And Sarthak Ray off to a very good start. Kapil Ace not so good. Madhav Sajid and Axel Sam both going side by side. Kapil trying to slot in behind Sarthak, but not enough space for him to do so. Now Kapil's getting the slipstream. Pulls off to the ideal racing line and brakes quite early. Lets Sarthak take the corner, and no collision so far. Great racing. Madhav Sajid, Axel Sam going side by side. Madhav Sajid ahead of Axel Sam now. Samad Havi watching this battle quite closely. As we can see, Dipanshu in the background of the show car, pretty much hitting Jay Pratap there on the exit, but luckily manages to keep his car under control. And great stuff from them. Kapil braking quite a bit late and quite hard. Actually does make up a very big chunk of time onto Sarthak Ray there. And all he has to do is get a good Lesmo 1 and a good Lesmo 2, especially a good Lesmo 2 for a very long straight coming up. And he can get Sarthak, or at least try and challenge Sarthak going into a Ascari. And he's not had the best of lines through there. He'll have the slipstream, but he'll have to use it as a close in rather than up about to attack. So that is a bit of a tough situation for Kapil, a tough pill for him to swallow as well, as we go through the Ascari chicanes. Coming on to another long back straight. Kapil has gained 3/10 through the Ascari chicane, so Sarthak does not seem to have the ideal tire temperatures by the looks of it, because he did struggle through there, whereas Kapil is flying in the third sector, and now he's going to get a lot of slipstream exiting the parabolic. Oh no, he runs off wide onto the dirty pit, all the marbles right there, and all of the time gained earlier, all lost as he's further behind from Sarthak, and well within the slipstream, but he could have launched an attack if he was any closer.
Yeah, coming on to turn 1 now, and yeah, just points between them right now, and the back is not really, just spread out as I was thinking before. It would have been, yeah, pretty close to each other right now. Definitely a two-way horse, two-horse battle for one, and yeah, we have Axel as well as Habib right behind to try and get on the podium, but it's close up between Kapil and Sarthak right now, and we can see that Sarthak is slightly faster on the straight, but Kapil doing an amazing job in all the braking points actually and all the braking zones, and kind of talking about that, he was slightly wide or coming out of this mode one, and yeah, has lost around 4% in the whole shenanigans that happened right there, and yeah, just losing a bit of time, but he has a long race ahead. So we still have 16 and 15 seconds as well. So yeah, we have a lot of time. Couple has time to try and get the lead off of Spartak in, let's say, let's hope in somewhat of a similar fashion where Spartak will be one of a couple in Superpole as well as Quali. So just have to wait and watch what these guys do, because this is the closest battle that we have right now, and it was a very, very crucial point in the race when Sarthak was able to get off the line perfectly in the mark, and yet was able to defend from Kapil and keep the position. And we could see that Kapil had off in, I think, turn 4, and he still had a faster lap time than Sarthak. We can see that he's closing in the braking zone, really close to Sarthak right here. Can get a better exit, and for now has to be behind and stick with this.
Very, very close, the both of them. Couple gaining a lot of time under braking to turn 1, and now Sarthak Ray defending the inside line from Kapil. I mean, great defense by Sarthak. He's placed the car right in the middle of the track, and never mind, gets a bad exit contact between Sarthak and Kapil. Kapil having to take the wider line to avoid Sarthak, but there is still contact between the two of them, and Kapil, I think, hit the barrier on the inside there, the Marshall post, which is really weird, but he still continues on without any issues, possibly with a bit of damage on his side as well, and Sarthak will now have the slipstream of Kapil, 2 times separating both the leaders. And we can see Madhav Sajid not too far away from this pack either. Very, very close, and still closing in to these guys. Sarthak doing whatever he can to take the best of the Ascari chicane, but Kapil just nailing the Ascari, getting a very good exit out of there. 3 tenths separate already. So he's gained 3 tenths is what I meant to say there on Sarthak, and that is a very, very good exit. Now he just has to he has to get a very good parabolica now, which will make the gap even bigger, and he could have the potential of running away. Gap has stayed the same between the two of them, which is fine, but you can see Kapil lapping a second a lap faster than Sarthak at this current moment.
Yeah, what a move by Kapil to take the lead right there, and yeah, we can see that Kapil has the lead right now and is pretty comfortable in P1. We can see that he is way more confident under braking, but it's a very good time for Sarthak to try and stick close with Kapil. Maybe learn a few braking points that work in the main race as well, and just try and just overtake and get back the lead. But yeah, we just have to see what these guys can do, because slowly but surely Madhav is gaining on the music. He has come a bit closer, both of them, and these guys fighting each other is just going to help as we try to catch up and get involved in the battle. So hopefully we get more of Kapil versus Sarthak, so both versus Japan. But yeah, have to wait and watch. It's going into a Ascari now, and I'm going to see how it will.
Yeah, once again, a very good Ascari chicane from Kapil. That gap is maintaining the same because Kapil is flying on the straights. After the Lesmos, Kapil is just untouchable. And of course, Sarthak closes in quite a bit in the first 2 sectors. So the gap is remaining the same. And as you mentioned, Swagger, Madhav isn't too far behind these guys either. So Madhav he's just looking on what's happening ahead of him right now, and both of them Sarthak a 10th faster than Kapil, but a 10th is not too much. and of course Madhav is just looking onwards. If any mistake does happen between Sarthak or Kapil, if any contacts happen, then of course Madhav will be right in. Currently defending the podium position, the final podium position from Axel Sam. But of course, if he can nab more, maybe a top 2 finish, then he'll absolutely love to take.
Sarthak is just settling in between two, just trying to get closer, and yeah, you can see that he is also breaking for wide lane now, and yeah, just keeping up with Kapil as of now. So mostly this slipstream that is helping both the drivers out in this case, and now we can visible that Madhav has lost quite a bit of time with his crew and his colleague. Both of them pushing hard, and Sarthak actually getting a better exit out of the team. So, and yeah, he is closing up, getting the slipstream, out of the slipstream, going down the inside into Ascari. Is this move going to work? He goes down the inside, Kapil goes around the outside, goes onto the gravel, does lose a bit of time, but that just lose aim. Somehow, Kapil is able to keep that work on track, and wow, that didn't compromise both of the line. But yeah, I think Sarthak was the one who lost out a bit more compared to Kapil, but yeah, Sarthak is right back, onto the rear diffuser of Kapil's car, and Kapil goes slightly wide yet again. Parabolic are not the strongest spot or strongest point for Kapil, and both of them going side by side right now. What a beautiful shot we are having, and almost that's a very, very good lap by Sarthak, which is around 6 tenths faster than Kapil right there, and they have a little bit of contact yet again, and wow, what a battle right there.
They're just playing ping pong. Sarthak misses his braking, doesn't even take the escape road. I'm sorry, but I think he has to give the time back that he gained through there, because he just completely cut the corner. He didn't even slow down, and okay, yeah, he has slowed down, so he has given the time back. Okay, that is fine. But I guess the stores might have yet another look at it. And oh, he's actually let Kapil by instead of keeping that position for even more safety. So okay, that's fine, but Kapil should really just start improving on his times here, because what he's doing right now is not good. Those few mistakes, even in a sector where he is significantly faster than Sarthak, is not going to help the situation, because of course in sector 3 he's absolutely quick. If he starts making mistakes in sector 3, he's going to be too far, he's going to be too slow in comparison to Sarthak, and just lose a lot of time. Like through the Ascari chicane that he's going through right now, getting a good exit, but not the best of exits. He needs to do a lot more at this stage to pull away from Sarthak, because Sarthak seems to be antic.
It's pretty clear that the slipstream is helping them quite a bit, because when Kapil was right behind Sarthak, he was getting a very good slipstream and was able to even make a move for the lead. And Sarthak is basically trying to replicate the same thing and get back at him, because this lap was faster by Kapil. But yeah, Sarthak is staying within the 0.5 seconds of the gap, keeping a gap under 0.5, and yeah, just way better braking compared to the first few laps. So yeah, super close, and the slipstream definitely helping Sarthak just keep close and keep Kapil on his toes.
Yeah, Kapil just not able to pull away that gap right now. Sarthak, as he mentioned, very close, and Madhav is just looking onwards still. Axel following quite close. A battle may be cooking up between Madhav and Axel Sam, as well, as 8 minutes remain in this race. So yeah, interesting stuff so far. A few changes for the lead, and I have absolutely no idea what they were doing last time around on the straight, just doing ping pong off of each other, hitting each other, and of course because of that Sarthak had to get the position back, and all of that. So Sarthak once again very close, but if Kapil nails this Ascari chicane, he can pull away quite a bit, and he has a very good line through Ascari, but ruined by the exit as he goes onto the gravel. Sarthak also follows him onto the gravel, so that time of course, mitigated, but it is crucial now for Kapil to get the best parabolica he's ever had, because if not, Sarthak is only 3 tenths away, and Kapil has clearly made a mistake somewhere in the parabolica. 2 tenths separate Sarthak and Kapil is. Sarthak in the slipstream of Kapil as they head down the line to start yet another lap. And both of them pretty equal on pace. Or the Sarthak 2 tenths faster on the previous lap. Has a look down the inside on the inside lane. Does not have a 7th gear. Cannot go any faster, but that's fine. Kapil will absolutely take it because he almost would have been overtaken there if Sarthak did have another gear. So this battle still continues on. 4 tenths separating Kapil and Sarthak going to turns 3 and 4. Can Kapil get a good exit out of there? He seems to be struggling in the Lesmos sections quite a bit. So perhaps Sarthak should look at capitalizing there, because if he can't capitalize there, I don't think he can overtake Kapil at all anywhere else.
We've seen Kapil make a few mistakes coming out of Parabolica as well as the Lesmos. So rightfully said, simply, Sarthak has a chance of overtaking Kapil. It's just that he has to be patient. Yeah, he has 6 minutes still, so and 6 minutes is quite a lot as of now, because the gap is pretty much nothing. The 0.1 seconds, difference between both of them. I think, Sarthak is trying to go down the inside. Yet again, that's a major contact. That's a major contact, and Sarthak sends Kapil into the wall. That is super unfortunate for him, and that just put Kapil completely off the racing line, and he's a little shook with this, that is for sure.
Yes, shook, but it was, at least from the POV we were seeing, his fault. I mean, he left Sarthak no space. Sarthak only had the wall next to him. He was already very close to it, and Kapil kept on squeezing. There was nowhere for Kapil to go. If anything, a penalty, if a penalty doesn't come his way, well, it doesn't really have to, since he has massive amounts of front damage now. And this brings Madhusudit right back in because he doesn't have any damage. And if Kapil is significantly slower a lap, then I think Madhav could be able to overtake Kapil, get past him. You can see Dipanshu, the show car, wants to show off his skills then on the tail of Jai Pratap Singh. This is a fight for P6. Both of them going side by side, almost into turn. Will the Audi come out ahead, or will the Tifosi get to see P6 for another day? Still side by side through turn 1, and Jai Pratap does come out ahead. Great defending from Jai, but the question is, for how long can he keep Dipanshu behind? Doesn't seem to be for too long, because Dipanshu does have a very, very big pace advantage over Jai Pratap right now.
And for all the Ferrari fans, and the Tifosi out there, don't worry, boys. We have a car in P6, but we even have a red car in P1 right now. So I would say that's also a pretty slight dump for the Ferrari fans. But coming on to the race, that was just unfortunate incident for the I would say P1 and P2. But that's super unfortunate for the Merc, which is Kapil, because he had a lot of damage on his car. We can see that front. Oh my god, he's going wide, and that car is not drivable right now. Goes on to the curb and just hits the wall. That car is pretty much done for. There's so much damage on the car that he has to start thinking about the next race, and there's not much he can do right now. And I think that's someone also who had a spin coming out of his Gari, and he's super slow coming out of the straight. But that's pretty much Kapil's race over, because that car with that amount of damage definitely is not drivable.
Certainly not. And Ahmad was in a good position there, but his race is also pretty much over. Kapil boxing to retire. I'm guessing Dipanshu and Jai Pratap Singh almost side by side once again. Jai Pratap still holding it out. Dipanshu will be looking to break later than Jai Pratap, and he does much later, but Jai Pratap does have the inside line, and Dipanshu tried a switch back, but it doesn't work mid corner, at least for turn 1. So that is yet another opportunity gone for Dipanshu. He will have another lap to do it, but consider this the penultimate lap looking at the time remaining. So even if he doesn't do anything now, he has to do something in the next lap, since the next lap will be the last lap. Madhav Sajid making a mistake. Axel Sam quite close to it. This has now turned into a battle for the top two positions. Apologies for P2 and P3. And Axel Sam has not gotten a good exit out of Lesmo 2, and that will just help Madhav Sajid live to see another day in P2.
Yeah, we did see that a slight tap between the top contenders right there, and yeah, one of them had to retire. He's in the pit, so we still have we can still see a Ferrari in the podium, so not too far away. But yeah, the Ferrari fans just loving this onboard. The audience just see the Ferrari right in front, and Jay Pratap doing a very good, decent job of keeping the Audi behind. But for how long? Because amazing exit by Dipanshu right there in that Audi, and both of them going side by side, probably going into Parabolica as well. Dipanshu and Jay just putting a very, very good fight, going side by side into Parabolica. The Ferrari just breaks slightly later and stays in front of that Audi. So trying for the switchback, Dipanshu is a little cunning in that move, and there's not much space. He takes out the Bollard. The Ferrari extremely defensive and does not want to give up P5, and probably this is going to be I think the penultimate lap as well. So a very good defense put up by Jay Pratap, and yet again trying for a switchback, but can Dipanshu get it? Not. The answer is no for now.
Yeah, this is the last lap actually. Only a minute remains. I think Sarthak will cross the line after the timer has stick to 0. So this is the last lap. Might have been the last opportunity for Dipanshu to make a move on Jay Pratap, and it might be that they will have to settle for the positions they are in already, because Jay Pratap doesn't seem to be making mistakes. He is slower than Dipanshu, but he's not making any mistakes. So pretty much perfect driving from Jay Pratap's side right now. So it has become even harder for Dipanshu to get past him, and Jay Pratap still keeping that position 7-10. So I think this battle has pretty much wrapped up here.
Yeah, overall a very, very good race by Sarthak. He was able to just keep the car on track, and he did get pole and was super close to Kapil. So hopefully that race the racing between those two continues into the race 2 as well. So stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, Sarthak comes across the line for just getting the P1. Madhav Sajid second, and Axel Sam in third. So again, both of these drivers as well really close to each other, the Merc and the BMW. And talking about close, you have the Ferrari and Audi just super close and right behind each other. And Jay Pratap keeps that Ferrari in front of the Audi of the Dipanshu and gets P4. Samad Habib coming home in P6, and we have Parth and Bolly again close to each other on track, but I don't think Bolly is close enough to go from.
I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Swagger, but the 10-second time penalty coming Sarthak Ray's way. For what? It might be the collision between himself and Kapil. I mean, Kapil pretty much had to box and fix his car, and he will be the final car crossing the line, I think, here. Or it actually might be Parth and Baldy, but that makes it so that Madhav Sajid has won the race. Axel Sam in P2, and Sarthak Ray will be P3. We'll see that in just the timing sheet just in a few moments' time here, as all the cars will cross the line. We're just waiting on Baldy and Parth to cross the line, but that's definitely knocked Sarthak out of the top two positions at least. Where will he end up? I think he might be a P4, maybe a P5. I think it is a P4 for Sarthak, as Baldy comes across the line, and soon followed by Parth Patel here. And yeah, that's it. And by the looks of it, Sarthak is in third, and that is, that's an unfortunate finish for his race. I mean, he drove a brilliant race. Race does not mean a mistake-free race, does not mean an incident-free race, and unfortunately 10 seconds worth of time penalties for that incident with Kapil Ace there. So that was a very interesting 20 minutes at Monza. We have 20 minutes of Spa coming up, and if things are to continue, Spa could be much, much better with maybe an even bigger fight for the lead here.
Yeah, Spa is one of the longer circuits out there as well. So we have, a lot of places to overtake going up Eau Rouge, even Camel Straight after that. So yeah, going to be a interesting part, interesting circuit at least to race on. We have bus stops again as well. So the exits out of there are going to be very crucial, and we'll get onto that race really, really soon, right after the short break. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
So desperate on my knees to break. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to lay down. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to give up. I want to every promise I've been praying for. praying for a day. I hold on to every moment, won't surrender, not tonight. Won't surrender, not tonight. Won't surrender, not tonight. Darling, I've been tempted by the darkness, telling me that I should throw it all away. Fight so hard, my heart is hardly helpless. Find myself so desperate on my knees to break. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to lay it down. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to give up. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for a day. I hold on to every moment, won't surrender, not tonight. The shadow rises and I walk through the valley, but I won't let nothing take my heart away. I recognize the powers as they ready. Golden names, I break them one by one and dance the face. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to lay it down. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to give up. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for a day. I hold on to every moment, won't surrender, not tonight. Won't surrender, not tonight. Won't surrender, not tonight. Darling, I've been tempted by the darkness, telling me that I should throw it all away. Fight so hard, my heart is hardly helpless. Find myself so desperate on my knees to break. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to lay it down. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to give up. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for a day. I hold on to every moment, won't surrender. telling me that I should throw it all away. Fight so hard, my heart is hardly helpless. Find myself so desperate on my knees to break. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to lay it down. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to give up. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for a life. I hold on to every coming, won't surrender, not tonight. The shadow rises, I walk through the valley, but I won't let nothing take my heart away. I recognize the powers as they rally. Golden names, I break them one by one and dance to face. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to lay it down. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to give up. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for a life. I hold on to every coming, won't surrender, not tonight. Won't surrender, not tonight. Won't surrender, not tonight. Darling, I've been tempted by the darkness, telling me that I should throw it all away. Fight so hard, my heart is hardly helpless. Find myself so desperate on my knees to break. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to lay it down. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to give up. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for a life. I hold on to every coming, won't surrender, not tonight. The shadow rises, I walk through the valley, but I won't let nothing take my heart away. I recognize the powers as they rally. Golden names, I break them one by one and dance to face. And I hear the voice of
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are back after a very short break after race one at Monza. A very nice race. A lot of position swaps between the leaders, and of course, Sarthakre unfortunately getting a 10-second time penalty, which knocked him down to P3. However, we now have Spa coming up. 20 minutes of Spa, a very nice track to drive on. Average around 2-minute lap times. So yeah, it is going to be quite an interesting race coming up ahead of us.
Indeed, it was a very lovely battle between Sarthak and Kapil, and let's just hope this time we have more racing between those two, and let's say a bit more cleaner this time around. But yeah, Spa overall is a pretty decent track. There's a lot of space, but it does get very narrow in few parts, like up Eau Rouge, Radion, and onto the Camel Straight, of course. So yeah, a few places where you can overtake, and we did see that couple was very good at with his braking. So maybe going into bus stop chicane, we can see a few overtakes race to start, and let's hope this one is cleaner compared to before, and yeah, overall just a better race.
Certainly, a minute and a half left before we get the session started. And once again, all of the cars just nicely lined up with each other. We'll wait. And for anyone tuning in for the first time to a race at Spa, especially in GT3 cars, you may be wondering, well, they are ahead of the grid spots. So why are they ahead of the grid spots? Well, first of all, that is because, of course, as you have seen in multiple races so far throughout week 1 and week 2, that in GT3 there is rolling start, there's no standing starts. And secondly, they don't start on the main straight, whereas they start after turn 1. That is where the flags drop. But of course, the start finish line on the main straight is considered as the actual start finish line and start finish straight, whatever you want to call it. So it's kind of mainly done so that when you have endurance races with grids of 30, 40, 50 cars, they'll have the space to kind of just maneuver around, and all of them are on the straight. Whereas if there were around 40, 50 cars here, some of them would be starting behind the bus stop chicane, which of course won't be ideal for them. So yeah, that is sort of an explanation as to why we start this way, especially at Spa. So Spa is special in a lot more ways than you think.
Where we had gone down to 10 seconds left for the bit right now. So yeah, I guess just a few technical issues here and there, and of course it's a completely new track now, and they were just racing in Monza just now. So yeah, like while the server is getting restarted, we can just talk a bit about Spa, because of course they had a few teething issues with the last server. So yeah, while they are doing a quick restart, let's just talk about the differences in let's say sector 1 to sector 2 as well, because sector 1 is pretty flat out in Spa, whereas sector 2 is a very technical, and you have to make sure that you're picking your brake markers right, and braking in the right time, because otherwise you could go wide and easily rack up a few track limit warnings.
And of course, with Sector 2, you do have a very technical section coming up, and that also carries off into Sector 3, where once again, as you said, it is very easy to get those track limit warnings, but it is more challenging to just keep your car straight there, because your braking has to be on spot, your throttle application has to be on spot, your turn in point has to be on spot, pretty much everything has to be on spot for you to get a good line there, because it's, I guess you could say, a one very long corner with multiple turns, because it's not just okay one corner, like how we saw in Monza. Okay, a chicane and then a straight and then a chicane. It's left, right, left, right, left, right before you get double right handers, and then you get a very long straight. So it is quite a challenging sector 2 there, and sector 3 is just the Blanchimont turns, of course a very long straight, the bus stop chicane, and then of course just your start finish line. So that's a pretty good summarization of what the Spa lap usually holds for the drivers. And then if you start going side by side with anybody else, or if you start battling anybody else through those sections, of course it becomes an even more challenging place, because I mean, two cars can easily fit through there, but it's more about if you're not on the optimal line, you're just not going to get a good exit. Other tracks, of course the same applies, but it is a little bit more aggressive on the throttle, and okay, your car might be a little bit slidey, but you can still hold it there. Whereas at Spa, if you're not on the optimal line, plenty of marble to take care of you, and of course, you're just not gonna be uh, in contention for fighting for the position that you are.
But yeah, super close, starting the race. And just let's just talk about going into turn one. Over here, of course, it's going to become the Eau Rouge as well as Radion. But yeah, going into those turns, it's going to be a new track. These guys do not have any practice on this track, at least right now. Of course, they have been grinding the game to try and qualify for this esports championship. But yeah, they have just tried and raced on Monza just now. So the breaking points and everything is going to be a little bit of a tricky situation for these guys. They have to get used to all that, used to the track, used to the setup that they load, and they do not have any time for practice. So this could be like a make or break for setup as well if they haven't tried the setup before, and it's going to be a pretty problematic issue for them, because if you don't have a right setup, you're going to lose so much time on the straights as well as the corners. So the setup is going to play a huge part, as well as the breaking points.
Yeah, that is, I guess, a pretty basic understanding of what you can expect from Spa. Uh, Braking, throttle application, all of that, as I said earlier, are quite important. Turn one, a nice place to send a convenient dive bomb, but that is if you can keep it, because it doesn't narrow through the apex, but it narrows on the exit, which is unconventional for a lot of corners. So that is what drivers usually expect, that they'll have plenty of space on the outside as they exit, but of course, very quickly a sausage curb comes up, and yeah, you just have to end up leaving the space. And if you don't, of course, both of you can just wash off wide and cause a big issue. So quite crucial for you to maintain that proper distance between the drivers. And talking about drivers, actually, why don't we have some real life news while we're at it regarding Formula One? Logan Sargent has confirmed to sign for Williams until the end of 2024. So that's all the seats done for 2024. Logan Sargent signed with Williams. We'll go over that topic later in the race when things settle. But for now, looking, I believe, on the first race where Kapil had a bit of an incident with Sarthak, ironically, going into turn one, where he just tapped his rear and sent Sarthak spinning. Kapil will be hoping not to do that this time around.
So yeah, it's go time for Spa race, and we're just waiting for the cars to start up the engines, and there we go. The cars are just have to make sure that he's braced in the right temperature. And as you were talking about this earlier, this is not the start finish straight. So going after the turn one, at least the Formula One turn one, this is where we start, and that's Kapil doing a 360 for maybe the fans out there. But yeah, very weird, very interesting start for the race. But yeah, he does take the positions back, and I think Sarthak waited for him as so well. So yeah, 70 kilometers per hour till the start line, and as soon as he does that, the engines are gonna start revving up, and there you go, that's the green light. And Kapil did have a slight mistake, but he has recovered that pretty well. Going up a Rouge now, past the back as well, pretty keen exit for everyone. Right now, we can see that Kapil is right behind Sarthak, and maybe even going for a move down the inside as soon as he's here. And yeah, we can see that he's gaining a little bit in the slipstream. Sarthak has done very well to keep it in front of Kapil. And we see a BMW overtaking another BMW, and that's Samad Habib making a move on Axel Sam. So what a move that is by the BMW at the back. So yeah, no position change in front, but an amazing move for BMW of Samad Habib at the back.
Yeah, great move, a great send, and he's made it stick. So he's up into P4. Thanks to that, Sarthak Ray going slightly wide. Madhav Sajid challenging couple A's for that P2 position. Startup looks to be comfortable so far, just on lap 1, pulling away from these guys and keeping that position and pulling away even more. Couple might be struggling because of very hot tires, thanks to that 360 he casually did on the short formation lap. And Madhav Sajid isn't leaving Couple's rear, neither is Axel Sam leaving Samad's rear. Both of them are pretty much just tailing the car ahead and not letting them breathe. I mean, that is also the thing that the cars ahead are really improving. Axel Sam drifting off a bit wide there, putting him in a compromising position. Samad Habib has completely lost the car and has ended up in the wall. I believe that might be due to some early throttle applications very early on in the race. Not a lot of grip on the track there, and he's RTG'd and left. So that is it for him. A very shambolic evening, at least at Spa. So yeah, not a very good day for him. Meanwhile, Axel Sam will absolutely take it because he automatically, because of that, moves up a position. Now he's in P4, but Dipanshu is just right behind him. Madhav Sajid following, still following. Couple A's then making a bit of a mistake taking the sausage cup on the exit. And as I did say earlier, do not take turn one's exit leniently, as that sausage cup is just waiting there for your car to be snatched away.
Yeah, looking at these cars going up Eau Rouge is just such a fun watch because mostly, we have seen Formula 1 cars moving up Eau Rouge and taking it for effort. And looking at these cars, you can see how much effort goes to try and keep the car on track. And you can see the Audi of the Concho getting super close to I think that is Axel Sam. And yeah, just show car is putting on a show for us right now. And yeah, just an unfortunate incident for Samad Habib, I guess, because it could be a issue of disconnection of his wheel or control or whatever he plays on. But yeah, a very weird he just went left on the right hander, so I think this is following Lightning McQueen over there. But yeah, coming back to the race now, 1.3 second behind Madhav here. And yeah, Dipanshu is just sitting in P5 trying to go for a move around the outside actually to come over here. But yeah, Madhav Sajid is doing a very good job of keeping P3 and yeah, just keeping the gap around 1.5 seconds to Axel Sam in 5.
Yeah, they both got slightly close earlier on, but they've managed to keep that gap sorted out still. Great stuff from both of these guys, following very closely. Of course, the bunch should not want to give up. I mean, when you saw that shot just a second ago, I mean, you could see the size difference between the Audi and the Beamer. The Beamer very fat, very wide, and the Audi nice and slick and small. So, yeah, that the car's wheelbase difference does make a big sort of, I guess, an advantage for Dipanshu, or I'd say an advantage for Axel Sam because his car is naturally wide. So, of course, he can actually say, my car needs more space on track because it is a wider car. And so, if there ever happens to be a situation where Dipanshu is squeezed out just a bit by Axel, he has somewhat of a fair justification that his car is wider, and that if he was on the edge of the track, then, well, he could have not gone anywhere.
Yep, indeed, and we can see that at the back as well, Audi is trying to make a move on left up, and yeah, both of them going side by side on the camera straight towards the end, and Ferrari having the inside, tries to go for a move around the outside, has a very decent line, but yeah, even Ferrari had opening up oversteer, somehow keeps the car in front of Audi right there, and what a move! That's a very, very good defense put on by Ferrari in front of Audi. And yes, Starbuck still in P1, Vettel still in P2. And yeah, the race is slowly setting down for the leaders in front, but this is getting spicy. Already trying to make a move on left and up, and yeah, catching up
Balti and Jay Pratap, both of them fighting it out quite well here. I mean, they're still following each other, but yeah, I'd say that the battle ahead of them as well between Axel and Madhav Sajid is cooking up, and even Dipanshu is getting involved. But Baldi wants to get involved in that inside line of Jay Pratap there, but just backed off for now. Doesn't really want to send it, but now he can go for it with the straight line advantage that he has over Jay Pratap's car. With that Mercedes having great amounts of straight line going through Blanchimont, just has to keep it, has to get closer, and he can definitely go for his dive into the bus stop chicane, but he chooses not to. So great stuff there. He was quite a bit far behind, so good racing from there, and of course Parth in the back just casually enjoying all of this racing that's happening right in front of him.
Well, he's out on a chill drive and just getting some time on the game as well. That's lovely to see that. But still trying to push times and trying to get faster day by day. And yeah, Wally still right behind in the slipstream of Jai Pratap. But yeah, he needs to get a very good exit out of Paul Rouge and Radion over here, because if he does not get that exit, it's a very slight chance that he'll take the overtake. And on the left side, we can see that Axel has caught up to Madhav, and on the right we can see that both of them going side by side yet again, and Jai just doing enough to keep the Ferrari in front of the Mercedes, and he is kind of slowing Wally down, because we can see that Wally has more pace, literally almost pushing the Ferrari in front. But yeah, very poised and a very good defense put up by the Ferrari in front.
Jay Pratap, even in Monza, I mean, he put up a great defense against Dipanshu. I mean, clearly defensive maneuvers is his best suit over here, his strongest suit. And he's clearly working out quite well on that. Keeping a much faster car behind you is not very easy to pull off, especially when they're significantly faster than you. But Jay Pratap is making it look really easy to do. And making it seem like he does this for a daily, which of course he doesn't, but it's just that easy for him to do. And Axel, Sam, Dipanshu, Madhav, Sajid, then a three-way battle for P3. Madhav is doing whatever he can to stay ahead. Axel has a great run on him though, getting a very good amount of slipstream, has to lift off a bit. I don't really think he should have lifted off when he's clearly having good amount of momentum on him, because he just breaks all of that momentum, and all he can do is see he's just too far behind. So these are some things that Axel has continued to do in the past as well, and is of course doing it now as well. But I mean, yes, of course, old habits die hard, but these are not good habits to do. I mean, we saw how brave Baldi was with trying to attack Jay Pratap, and he was fully flat out. Despite being on the rear of Jay Pratap, he was completely flat out through Blanchimont and kicked it there. So that is what Axel should have done, because now he's just lost too much time and he'll have to do all of that work again.
Yeah, he lost quite a bit of time to Madhav in front, and if he wants to try and overtake him, he has to have a good exit, as I was saying earlier as well. So exit is key for today's race, and he does get closer and closer to Madhav every lap, but yeah, Madhav just does just about enough. And again, we have that's a very slight contact between both of them, but that's unfortunate for Jay, because he gets spun out by Baldi, and yeah, that's just, it's a spin. Sometimes it's just racing and spin, but we don't really know who was at fault with it. We just popped there, but that's just an unfortunate incident between those two. They were having a very good battle as well, going side by side after the Camel Straight, towards the end of Camel Straight, and yeah, Jay was putting up a very good defense, but right now we can see that the BMW of Axel is getting pressurized by Dipanshu with the Audi, so really close racing by them. Dipanshu not really able to make an overtake though, just has to stay behind. And Kapil has fallen back from Sarthak. He's around 7.5 seconds. Sarthak is just in a league of his own right now. And yeah, Kapil I think just has to try and keep his car in front of Madhav. And yeah, we'll just have to see what happens because this is a four-way battle for P2.
Four-way battle for P2. It could have been five-way battle for P1, but clearly Sarthak is too far ahead, and he's put up an amazing performance with 8.5 minutes remaining in this race. Kapil will definitely have to do a lot of work to keep 3 cars behind him, especially since he does seem to be struggling a little bit with pace right now. It doesn't seem to be too much faster than the other cars around him. But yeah, it's difficult to say what Kapil can do in this situation and what really could happen, because for all we know, we could see yesterday's Barcelona take place again, where it was just complete chaos, complete carnage, or things could remain as is. Things could get close, but they could remain as is. So, there's pretty much endless possibilities, because we can see Axel Sam once again. He's launched a move on Madhav Sajid here. He has the inside line, and Madhav tries to go for the inside line, trying to take it away from Axel, but Axel, with great defense, keeps that position. So Axel has moved up into P3, leaving Madhav Sajid behind. Question remains though, can he catch up to Kapil, or will he also have to remain? Because right now it just looks like he had enough pace to get past Madhav, but he doesn't have enough pace to get to Kapil, and that could slow this whole 3 cars down and kind of help Kapil in this situation.
Yeah, that's a very good move by Axel there. He was catching up to Madhav every single lap, but yeah, finally got it done. Now we are on board Dipanshu, who is just 3 tenths away from Madhav. Can he also go for a move, or will he be just stuck behind him like he was stuck behind Axel? Yeah, Axel does have the pace, so let's see if he can catch up to Kapil, because yeah, Sarthak has literally checked out. He's completely just gone 9.7 seconds. No idea where that's come from. But yeah, compared to Monza, he's just turned up a notch, and he has an extra gear that these guys don't, because clearly he's taking the lines better, and the 9.7 gap is really sizable. So yeah, he should be just in cruise control mode now, just try and not make any mistakes, get the car on track, and he's definitely heading for a win. And yeah, we can see that Kapil as well doing a pretty decent job of keeping these guys behind, and consistently doing 2 minutes 20s, 2 minutes 19s. But yeah, Axel is on completely right behind him, and trying to just overtake. But yes, slowly but surely getting closer. And if he gets a good exit over here, going up for Rouge, he might have a chance at Kapil in a few laps.
In a few laps, I mean 4 tenths. I don't think it's going to be few laps. I think it's going to be the end of this lap. And what's going to help that end of this lap is this long Campbell straight. He's getting a beautiful slipstream. Might even be now Axel having a look on the inside, almost side by side. Who will brake later? Axel seems to try to brake later. Contact between the two of them, but none of them go spinning. Great stuff to avoid a big collision there. But it is not ideal for Axel, because Madhav Sajid and Dipanshu, who he pulled off a very big gap from, have instantly closed in because of that instant slowdown. And Stewards might have a look at that, but I don't think it's penalty worthy, or it not even be investigation worthy. Maybe a note by the stewards, but maybe not an investigation. But for now, I think by the end of this lap is still very much plausible for Axel to be once again side by side with Kapil and try and launch a move, maybe going into bus stop. Although I think it would be much better for him to get closer in bus stop, get closer through turn 1, but once again try to do a move up on the Camel Straight, because you have sector 2 after that, where he clearly seems to be stronger than Kapil. Even in sector 3 he's stronger than Kapil. The only place Kapil is strong is in sector 1, which is pretty much straights, and of course thanks to his Mercedes he can keep ahead. So that is something I think Axel should be looking to do, considering he's not really too far away from Madhav even now.
Yeah, he did get pretty close because of the slipstream, and right behind Kapil, he's still just closing up, coming near the bus stop chicane, and yeah, Kapil just kind of disoriented after the last race, and still though was able to keep the car in front of Axel Sam, which is one of the main goals for Kapil as of this point. So yeah, we can see that Madhav is also catching up to Axel slowly but surely. He wants to get that podium, and podium is up for grabs. So it could be one of these four get onto the podium. So yeah, as I said, going to take a couple of laps for Axel to overtake Kapil, and that's exactly what happened. He did get the chance last time around, and that was surprising. The fact that he was able to gain so much time was pretty crazy. But yeah, right now, Kapil is able to keep the car in front. The gap is coming down slowly but surely, but that's not enough to send one down the inside. So he's going to keep the position for now. We have 3 minutes left on the clock for this race, so probably a lap or two more. But yeah, Karthik has done very, very well in this race, and just keep that distance and yeah, probably get this win now.
I'm pretty sure the win is sealed for Sarthak. Next time around will be the final lap for them. So this is the penultimate lap. Lot of work for Axel to do still. He cannot let Kapil just get away like this. I mean, after all of that hard work, a close enough incident, and then even more hard work, if it does end up in sort of a situation where Axel cannot launch a move on Kapil again, it will still be good efforts. I mean, he'll still have a P3, but a P2 is always better than a P3. More points for Axel, so I'm pretty sure he'd want to go for that. Very close to the end of Kapil there, pretty much bumper to bumper, almost side by side. Has to tuck back into the slipstream. Clearly that Beamer does not have a lot of straight line outside of the slipstream, so he has to stay within it. He can try and launch something into the bus stop chicane, but no, he's decided to take the optimal line, stick right behind Kapil. Final lap of the race begins for the leader. It will also begin for these guys. One final opportunity for Kapil to defend from Axel. One final opportunity for Axel to defend from Madhav, and of course launch an attack on Kapil, who's right in front of him. He cannot mess anything up. Going up Eau Rouge and Radion, just has to get the slipstream. He doesn't seem to be closing in by a lot here, but that Beamer will gain a lot through Eau Rouge and Radion, as it does. And once again, tucked in the slipstream, it will get stronger the more he closes in. Has pulled to the outside. Both of them now going side by side. Axel barely edging out ahead of Kapil, but Kapil can't break much later and try to take that position back. Axel on the compromising line has the inside line for the next corner. Kapil not ready to give it up just yet. Now Kapil will have the inside line, and usually the battles will be done here, but none of them willing to give up. Going now into Bruxelles. Both of them still side by side. Axel on the outside. Might have been a bit of contact there between the two of them. Maybe a bit of a nudge by Kapil as Axel has to go back down. Almost hitting Madhav Sajid's front end there. And it might be over for Axel's hope of a P2.
Going through P1 now, and yeah, he still has a chance going onto the bus stop chicane. He did get super close to getting overtaken by Madhav, but right now as we speak, Madhav is side by side with Dipanshu, and Dipanshu trying to go for a move around the outside, and can he make it stick? I think he does. The final lap, Dipanshu has made the move stick and goes slightly wide onto the curbs, but I think that's a move done and dusted. Unless Madhav can do something going into the bus stop chicane, I think that's pretty much done for one. Yeah, we can see that Axel trying to make a move on Kapil, and he's way closer compared to the earlier attempt. And if he can just keep his foot on the floor, on the throttle, and yeah, just try and go for a move down the inside, or maybe even the outside, because that turns into the inside for the next turn. Can he do it? Can he break later? He does. Goes side by side. But Kapil, a beautiful move to try and just break that
Switchback.
switchback. Yeah, he tried to go for a switchback, but that's unfortunate and well defended by Kapil at the end. What a race this was!
I mean, yeah, great defense by Kapil. Unfortunate for Axel, could not get that P2. I mean, that last corner was something else. Baldy, is he out of fuel? He might be out of fuel. Parth Patel has caught up to Jay Pratap here. Parth Patel in the McLaren finally getting the spotlight on himself after a whole race. Can he send a move on Jay Pratap, or can he force Jay Pratap to make a mistake? I think not. He is very close. Can he get a good exit? No, that will be it, unfortunately. Parth will have to settle for a P7 and Jay will have to settle. Never mind! Baldy could not cross the line in time. Baldy has to settle for a P8. Parth in P7, Jay in P6. So clearly a few fuel calculations gone wrong by Baldy there, and last corner, as a matter of fact, those guys moved up and made a move on Baldy, who was otherwise quite far ahead, and that is it for Baldy, despite not really deserving to finish in P8. Unfortunately, that is it for him. I mean, he has to finish in last, and he got his fuel calculations wrong, which of course was not ideal for his race. And yeah, Sarthak once again a dominant run, winning by over 10 seconds, and I think he'll be quite happy with that, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, he got close to winning the first Monza race, but yeah, a 10-second penalty got put down to P3, and he just came on the track for revenge and wanted to make sure that he has a clean race, stays in front, and make sure that he gets that P1 for sure. There's no penalty. He had almost a 10-second lead, so even if he gets a 10-second penalty, he'll be fine with it. So yeah, very well done by him. And overall, again, just so close. This race was way more action packed compared to Monza, I would say, and just driving and overtakes overall, because we saw Baldy or running out of fuel, and Parth and I think it was Jay, both of them just overtaking him at the line. So yeah, super close. One of them could have done Lightning McQueen and pushed him on and make him help him finish the race, but yeah, again, you do you. But yeah,
I mean, I
overall
don't
a
think it
very
would
good
have been
race.
optimal. Yeah, good race, but I don't think it would have been optimal for either of them to, do a Lightning McQueen and help the guy out, because one thing is, thanks to ACC's contact models at low speed, he would have just been spun around. So that would have been an unnecessary penalty for you. And the other thing is, Parth he was fighting Jay right there. So if Jay got a bad exit, Parth could have capitalized on that and finished P6. If he was alone, like if there was a big gap between the two cars, then he probably would have done it. But when you are right there, trying to force your opposition to make a mistake, even on an exit, so that they go spinning and you can capitalize, wouldn't have been ideal for Parth. But fear not, guys. Racing action is over only for today. We'll be back tomorrow, day 6, with our Group 2 guys, I believe, for one final time. And on Sunday, once again, we've not revealed any of the schedule for day 7, because it is very interesting, and I'm pretty sure everyone is going to love the way the schedule is, with the track combinations and all that. But I'm not going to say too much. You just have to wait until day 7. But of course, to get the context for day 7, you'll have to watch day 6, which is tomorrow. So like, subscribe, share, and go watch the previous races if you haven't already. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow then. Until then, take care of yourselves and good night.
so desperate on